Good evening, everyone. Bob Zagami here with Nervder and RVing in New England for this beautiful Wednesday night before we hit another snowstorm. Let me see if I can bring my co-host up here and we can have a little talk beforehand. We'll drop down our graphic. Good afternoon, John. How you doing?
Hey, Bob. It's so nice that we're going to be talking about heat tonight when it's below freezing. And what are we getting? What's the latest now? 3 to 5, 5 to 9?
I don't know. I saw 6 to 12 too, so I'm not sure. So
I'm banging my head against the wall. But the only thing I think is kind of comical is I'm watching people down in Washington and Baltimore. They got 3 inches of snow and it's gridlock.
Yeah,
we're tough. We're stupid to be here all year long, but we're tough.
Yeah. That's true, but it'll all be melted before the weekend. So,
you're right.
big show this weekend, or not as big as our show in Boston, but we have a big show up in New Hampshire.
Yep.
At Bedford Sportsplex. It's interesting. I posted it today, and then I had a guy from Bedford, New Hampshire, comment and say, "What the hell's the Sportsplex?" And I never heard of it, so I had to tell him where it was. But
he was calling from the Bedford House of Correction, so he probably doesn't get out that often.
Right. So we got Camping World, and they've got 2 locations in New Hampshire, Conway and Chichester. We have Cold Springs RV, all the boys over there, Scott and Joe and Ray and Matt. Friends at Forest Marine and RV, Bruce and Derek and Julie and Susan. They'll have a full cast of characters there.
Everything Jayco.
Everything Jayco. All Jayco all the time. Sherry Fuller will be there. Fuller RV, Motorhome Rentals and Sales. She'll be there.
She's got to be one of the most energetic people in the association because, she doesn't miss a show. And I think no matter where the show is, she drives home each night.
Yep.
And she has that phone with her. And even when she's working the show, the phone rings and she's talking to a live prospect as well as a prospect on the phone. I give Sherry all the credit because, with a family business and the business they're in, they don't get to take summer vacations.
Well, you're right. We got Ernie Fitz with the Outdoor Comfort Center. He's one of our new associate members. He does all the sunrooms on park models and destination campers. He did mine and did a great job with it. And we have Seacoast Resort. Not Seacoast RVs, but we have Seacoast Resort. So Bev will be there. And I think they're down. I know they're under 20. They may be close to only 15 spots left in the resort. Now, I haven't heard.
They've sold, 2 years ago when we took some photography for them, They hadn't even cut the trees down yet. Then last year they cut the trees down. And then when I went over there back in September, October, they only had a few units left, a few spaces left.
Yep. And, we got Jerry Raper down in Tennessee joining tonight, and glad to see you joining us from Tennessee, Jerry. And I think Hemlock Hill might have watch our Facebook page. I thought they were going to have an open house this weekend, and then we're doing their pizza party next Wednesday.
Yep.
We'll go down there and
12:30 or 4:30. We don't know what time.
Love dealer. Yep.
See, 12:30.
So I'm going to. We have a special guest tonight, Bob Bean, founder and chairman of Blue Stream, and I'm going to bring Bob up on the screen with the 3 of us. Hey, Bob, you're on the screen. You are live. You are on RVing in New England, and we're delighted to have you as our guest tonight.
Great. Thanks for having me, Bob. Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's always a fun time. We got about 9 people. Jose is joining us from Jose is joining us from sunny Mattapoisett. Jose, you're probably already getting the snow that we're going to get later because it hasn't started here yet. Yeah. Jerry was running late tonight. You're going to catch the recording. Go ahead, John. What?
I think it's important to point out that if our viewers are trying to look for Blue Stream, that it's BLUSTREAM. It's not blue, BLUE.
That's correct.
So if they want to check out website or the product. I know Bob's going to put up a link that if people want to buy the product, they'll be able to do it right over the phone through that company that owns Whole Foods. I can't remember the name. It begins with A.
Amazon. Yeah. Don't buy it through that particular link. That's Bob's website. But we're going to give you a link that we'll drop in later in the program. Bob, tell us how you got started in this thing. I know you're in Worcester and you went to school in Worcester. Tell us how you came up with this idea. I know the story, but tell our viewers.
Sure. I'm an engineer by trade and very passionate about music as well as other things. And I have a lot of very nice acoustic guitars. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a very expensive Taylor acoustic guitar worth about $3,000 or $4,000 that became extremely damaged. It was dry on a typical New England winter and had 4 very large cracks in the wood. And I normally have a humidifier, which is basically a glorified sponge, in the case. And I fill it up from time to time, and then it keeps my guitar safe. But for whatever reason, I got really busy that winter. I didn't play a lot of guitar. When I opened it up in the spring, it was cracked in 4 or 5 places and really ruined. On the next
gone, right?
Yeah.
Gone, Bob. It's
yeah.
Right. How much do you think it was worth?
Well, it's around a $3,000 to $4,000 guitar.
Okay.
It will always have these scars in it. So I looked around for something that maybe would have warned me, monitored, alarmed me that my guitar was in danger of being cracked. Fine wooden instruments, guitars, cellos, violins, pianos, or anything sensitive to humidity, cigars, RVs, anything that could be damaged by mold, dryness, or extreme temperatures. So we created an app that runs on a smartphone and a sensor that you can put in your valuable object, like your guitar case or in your guitar. And we partner with the leaders in the industry to deliver this to our customers. So that's the story. It was basically a problem that I had and then solved it with technology. And this is in the class of things called Internet of Things. So Internet of Things are sensors connected to your directly to you through your smartphone or website and up into the cloud. So you can always be warned if your object is getting damaged or moved, or things like Nest, for example, and those types of things are also Internet of Things technology gadgets. So we decided to protect valuable things like instruments, RVs, cigar humidors, anything sensitive, exotic pets, things like lizards, and we've got all sorts of crazy ideas going on.
All right, we want to talk about pets. Before that, I want to catch up on some of our comments here. Mass Good Sam's are here, and
Victor Marino is here from Western Massachusetts,
and Denny
out in the Springfield area.
And Denny Rich is with us.
Chuck is with us. Chuck Lundberg is with us.
Yep.
And we should say Mass Good Sam's. Within a couple of weeks, we're going to have the Good Sam people on, whether they're from Massachusetts or Rhode Island or whatever.
I think we're going to squeeze both of them on, and that's a great audience for your product, Bob, because the Mass Good Sam chapters. There's chapters all the states throughout the country, but I think we have the best ones in New England. We work very closely with them, and they do a lot of rallies during the year. So maybe we can talk to Jason and Joe and Rhonda and Lisa. Maybe you do a presentation at one of their rallies or showcase the product out there. Let's talk. I'm going to drop John for a minute here, and let's talk about something that is very important, because one of the things when we first met you guys that we talked about, of course, it measures the temperature and the humidity, and it has shock detection. But as we quickly got around to in our conversation, the thing that got us excited was that you actually do have control over the facilities within your RV to know what's happening with your pets. And depending on which story or which study you want to see, 60-70% of people travel with pets. So let's talk about the importance of the Bluestream sensor with respect to pets.
Sure. And as we got exposure to the RV market, and I have full disclosure, I'm not an RV owner myself, but I know a few RV owners, and they're very passionate about their RVs, and they're passionate about their pets too. They want to keep them safe. And we went to several of the RV shows in Elkhart and talked to owners of pets that travel with pets. And a big concern is if the compressor dies and you're in a hot area.
So we call them generators, Bob.
Generators, okay.
There might be a compressor in the generator. We don't know that yet.
There's a compressor in the air conditioner. I know that because I'm an engineer. So
right.
I wasn't going to tell them that, but I think they already figured it out.
Yeah, but if your generator dies, that's good.
In consumer terms, though, tell them how it works. How would they use the Bluestream efficiently? So they drive up to Cracker Barrel. They park in the special RV parking space. They want to go in and have dinner, and they leave the dog or the cat in the RV. What do they do then?
Or dogs or cats.
Cats.
There's several people traveling with more than one.
If you're Mark and Don Polk, you got 3 of them. And I hope Momo's doing well tonight. I'm not sure if Don and Mark are on. Momo had surgery this week, so they're resting at home. But yeah, Bob, tell them what happens when they close the door and then get to the restaurant.
So what happens is you take this sensor system, and this has a humidity and temperature and a motion sensor on it, and shock sensor. And you leave this in your RV. And as long as you have another device in your RV, such as an iPad or anything with cellular connection, or even a Wi-Fi connection if you have Wi-Fi at your campground, it could be an iPod, actually, or an old Android phone or anything. That device or this device will relay the information up to the cloud, and then it comes down to you, to your cell phone, wherever you are. So if you get an alert, such as temperature exceeds 90 degrees, for example, and that's programmable.
Right. Bob, I think it's important to tell people that that it is programmable. So if you want to set it for 7, again, depending upon the kind of pet that you have, the temperature ranges might be variable. So you do have the capability to set it at 70 degrees, 80 degrees, 90 degrees, or whatever. I think that's important.
We got a question from Walter, and I have no clue, from Walter Swenson. Good to see you tonight, Walter. I have no clue what he's talking about, but seeing that Bob's an engineer, let's take a shot at this one. Have you ever used a Raspberry Pi computer with Bluetooth to connect to the internet?
I have not, but we have some customers that have done that, and our Chief Technology Officer is very familiar with Raspberry Pi. Basically, Raspberry Pi is not a Raspberry Pi. It's a small little computer board that's mostly for experimenters and tinkerers to experiment with things like Internet of Things or sensors or the internet connections and so forth. That's a very good question. I have not personally done it, but I know people have done it. So maybe this will help explain things. So I actually have a sensor. I have a house on Cape Cod, and it's right near the ocean. And we have people there that are renting it for the winter. And you can see this. It says Cape House, and it shows humidity and temperature. So I have real-time data on the humidity and temperature. Interestingly enough, if I tap on this, I can look at the humidity over the period of time, over the days. If I tap on temperature, you can see how it goes low here. They had lost power for 3 days. So the temperature was decreasing. Luckily, Eversource got the power turned back on, and the temperature outside wasn't too cold. but this can also be used to monitor basements or second homes. If you're off RVing and going to Arizona, you can put this device in your a second device in your home. Make sure your pipes don't freeze.
We just happen to have somebody on the show with us right now that is in Arizona, but also has a home in Massachusetts. And
interesting.
They're in Arizona now, be coming back. Hi, Michelle. Victor Marino. Victor Marino is a construction guy. He's a high school friend, but he writes humidity in your motorhome. Here's how he deals with it: turn on the heat on days when there are extremes in temperatures, and it reduces mold and controls humidity. Victor, that's great. What this does is, say, for example, humidity was your concern or not your concern, but say you want to go into a restaurant and leave your dog or cat or bird or something in the motorhome. You don't know if the generator stops. What this will do is we'll send a warning right to your phone. It will beep, right, Bob? It'll beep on your phone and tell you that the temperature exceeds whatever it was that you set it to. We used ours last year on several occasions. It was amazing to see how the temperature, actually the interesting part there where it's got the little chart to show you hour by hour, either hour by hour, day by day, or week by week, how the temperature does change. And, today with pets, they're not pets anymore. They're part of the family. They're like
This is a good question from Danny Richards. Go ahead, Bob.
Is Bluestream both Apple and Android compatible? Yes, it's available for both platforms, and at the Apple Store or iOS Store, and at the Google Play Store for Android. And then maybe to follow up on Victor's comment, I've seen many people putting their RVs in storage, and they use something called damp rid or a desiccant to make sure mold and mildew don't grow. What they're using is our sensor to monitor when that damp rid needs to be replaced. And if any of you have used that product or similar products, Arm & Hammer has one. It's basically a bucket filled with little balls that are desiccants. And what happens is it absorbs the moisture so it doesn't go into mold into your upholstery. And when it gets full of water, it's dead. It can't absorb any more moisture, and the humidity starts rising. But what the sensor does is it tells you, hey, your humidity remediation is not working. Time to get a new damp rid in there, for example.
Yeah, Bob, now this product was just featured. The April issue of Trailer Life magazine is hitting the mailboxes this week. I did check Barnes & Noble today to see if it's out on the newsstand. It wasn't there. But you've already started. That story was done by our good friend Chris Doherty, who we'll have on in a couple of weeks. Chris is the technical editor for Trailer Life and Motorhome and knows all things about RVs and most aspects of it. So Chris actually did a product review and did a tremendous article in this April issue. But Bob, you told me earlier you've already started to get emails from people.
Yeah, I have. I've got some emails with some very good questions, kind of pre-sales questions.
Mm.
I don't know if it makes sense to answer a typical question. If that's useful to your viewers, I'm happy to do so.
Well, yeah, we have an actual question here from Two Gals and a Dog. Can you put that up, Bob?
Let me see what she is here.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
If Bob can read it, or I can just read it out to you.
I don't see it.
You don't see it? Okay, I'll read it to you. So the smart device left in the RV would need a data plan to be connected to the internet, right? Is there any way around that?
Yes, there is. So that's if you want cellular service. So if you're at a campground that has Wi-Fi, and you always go to campgrounds that have Wi-Fi, you can use an iPod. iPods connect with Wi-Fi. An Android phone. People have drawers of old iPhones or Android phones with cracked screens. You can use anything that'll connect to the internet that's iOS or Android. Or we actually have a recommended Android phone that you can use, which is about $60 on Amazon. So, and you can plug a cellular chip into that if you want to, and put it on your data plan. But that's a very, very good question. As a matter of fact, that was similar to the question that I got from a viewer someone this morning who asked, "Hello, I'm interested in purchasing a Bluestream device and using it in my RV to monitor temperature for my dog when I'm not there. I have no internet connection in the RV. Does the Bluestream connect to my second device, iPad, in parentheses, via Bluetooth, and then the iPad connection over my AT&T data plan to my cell phone, or does it need an actual internet Wi-Fi connection through the iPad?" And the answer is no. You can go directly, if you have another phone or another iPad that's on your cellular plan, you don't need any Wi-Fi at all. And so some people that are off the grid, that's a very good solution for them. As long as they have cellular service, they're going to be connected to their pet's environment. And if not, all they need to do is use a bridge device.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bob, a couple people here have said a website where you can purchase. Do you have the capability to put that up while we're on right now? There you go.
How's that? Is that good service to people? Huh?
Just like that.
Yeah.
And Bob,
I will post that afterwards on the comment line also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's also important to note here that even though we're talking about protecting from high temperatures, the sensor will also prevent issues when the temperatures get too low. So you've got a high mark and a low mark, so that if you've got an RV stored somewhere and it hasn't been winterized, because it's in a heated garage or something like that, and you didn't winterize it, having the sensor in there would also let you know, because many times the freezing issues create more problems than high temperatures.
Yep.
And I think that's very important to know. The versatility of this device is absolutely amazing. The one that I have, I just keep right on my dashboard. And, when my wife and I go in to eat or to a restaurant or say, for example, a hypothetical scenario, families going to Disney World and, they can't take an animal in or whatever. Again, you don't want to keep the animal out there for hours and hours in the hot sun. But even if it's in an area where you think you've got air conditioning, power failures in RV parks are very common, or power surges that shut the air conditioner off. So there's another reason for this.
And also with the generator. I mean, generators either run out of fuel or they just stop. They're not, good. We love them, but it's not like your house electricity. So the fact that when these things happen and the generator stops, and that, especially in the summer, we all know how hot an RV or a car can get, and that temperature starts to rise, you want that alert immediately and say, hey, get back to the unit, you got a problem. And you're going to catch it at the very early point. We haven't even talked about the price, but one of the best things about, we keep telling Bobby how to raise his prices, but how inexpensive this price is. This is an insurance policy about one of your most valuable possessions. And even if you take it outside of the RV world, maybe you've got a gun case, maybe you've got a cigar humidor, maybe you've got a priceless art collection, maybe you've got the musical instruments. Tell them what it costs, and there's the link on how they can buy it. But how inexpensive is this piece of insurance?
Yeah, it's $50, and there's no subscription plan. It's a lifetime subscription to with a connection to the cloud and then back to your phone. So it's $50 device.
Bob, you brought up something very, very important. There are other devices that are somewhat similar, and what they do is they charge you a certain price, but the real money they make is in that monthly subscription, and this does not have that additional cost. So you got to be careful, folks. And somebody had written, Two Gals and a Dog wrote, do you need to turn it on every time you leave the pets in the RV?
Boy,
well, in fact, it's on.
We're thinking too much alike, DePietro. I was getting ready to post that as soon as you read it. Damn.
It should be stated, Bob, we're not in separate rooms. We're 20 miles away from each other.
That's right. We're not even close.
Yeah, let me see. That's a very good question. Two Gals and a Dog. So the way it works is there is a small battery. It's a coin cell battery in this device here. As soon as you pull the tab, it's active. You can probably see the light blinking there. So it's looking for connection. Once it's connected to your smartphone or your tablet, this battery will last for over a year. So you don't have to turn it on. It's always working. As long as you have the app running. You have to have the app running.
Now, did you know, Bob, that squished noses impact temperature? They're very temperature sensitive.
They are, like those kinds of dogs?
That's what Roo is. Michelle and Laurie have a Boston Terrier, and he's named Roo. And she says they have squished noses and are very temperature sensitive. Thank you, Michelle. We did not know that. That is your pet lesson for the night.
I'm wondering how temperature sensitive they are.
I don't know. Maybe she'll tell us.
Maybe. I have two Yorkie poos, and they don't like the New England weather lately. When I take them for walks in the morning, they try to hop and skip around to not keep their feet on the ice.
Hey, I got news for you, Bob. Humans don't like the New England weather these days. We got Rick from Rochester, New York up there, and I don't know, Rick, we may have gotten more snow here this year than you guys up in Rochester. I know we didn't get more than
or the buffalo.
No,
I think that's my buddy Rick Germain. I think
that's your buddy.
I think is it Rick G.
Yep, Rick Germain.
I think he's using our sensor in his cigar humidor to make sure his cigars don't get dried out.
Oh, okay. Looks like he's got a dog too.
Okay. Let's do a little bit of marketing like you see on TV. If you have a pet, you can use it. If you have a guitar, you can use it. If you have a humidor for your cigars, you can use it. Now, I'm not an expert on math, but that's 3. Count me. 3 units in one for all one low price. It's like getting 2 units free when you buy one.
I see.
Okay. And a Ginsu knife collection.
Purchase just one. I hope it gets rushed from Wilbur to Millbury. Okay. Hope it gets rushed from. So, Bob, I think it's important to realize that this is an absolute. It's a must-have for anybody that is RVing with a pet.
Absolutely. No question about it.
You don't know what the circumstances are that's going to separate you from the pet. You might have to run into some place for an emergency circumstance. And as long as you've got your, your app in your phone or tablet, and that unit is on all the time, it's not something that you have to set. Right? I mean, this is better than set it and forget it, because you can forget it without even having to set it.
Yep. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put that link down below in the comments after the show is over. And we've got a little contest for you. Anybody who orders through that link in the next, let's say till midnight tomorrow night, Bob. And we'll do it till midnight tomorrow night. We will select one of those people, and I'm going to drop John down here for a second and do this. And we will give away a copy of the RV book from Mark and Don Polk. And we will select one of those people who order the Blue Stream sensor between now and tomorrow at midnight. All right, on that. Okay, so any other? We're close. We might run over a couple of minutes. Danny says,
there are 2 questions.
Let me get Danny up here. Yep.
Danny?
Yes. Is the price of the app included when you purchase Blue Stream, or is the app a separate cost? The app is free. So if you go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, you can download it free of cost. There's no cost there. One thing I forgot to mention too is there is a motion sensor built into this as well. So if your RV experiences a shock, and actually we're releasing an update to the app which will detect small motions as well. So if you wanted to mount it on your door, for example, and you weren't there and somebody was jiggling your door or trying to break in, you would also get a notification. So that's something that we added for expensive objects like guitars or violins or etc. And it works perfectly for RVs as well.
Somebody's trying to get into the case.
That's an interesting point. When you look at the last 3 nor'easters, and we got one more coming tonight, the amount of RVs that were probably damaged by tree trunks or trees themselves splitting them in half. I mean, there were 200 trees down just in Nickerson State Forest down on the Cape. Sweetwater Forest Campground might get open on time, but they are going crazy just taking trees out, and some of the units were damaged there. So this would also provide that kind of protection, because it's not always when you're using. The off-season is just as important. So even if you use damp rid in the unit, you still want the sensor to tell you when that is no longer working to provide that. So if you're putting your unit in storage at a mini warehouse or someplace away from where you live that you typically don't get to for the 5 or 6 months that it's in storage, this is an incredible use. And Mr. Lundberg just had a very interesting. Oh, where'd he go?
It's here.
Here he is. Here. And
yeah.
He says for only a grant, which I assume is a $50 bill, Chuck. I don't partake in those too often, so I'm going to guess that the grant is a $50 bill. You can get this great unit to protect your pets from extreme temps in your RV? ? Yes, you can. Bob, why don't you answer the rest of that question? He goes on there. I think hey, Lundberg, I want to see an order from you tonight. In this, I'm checking that Amazon roll. I want to see an order up there. Why don't you answer the rest of the question, Bob?
Yeah, so the question is, how long does it take to get these once we order? It's typically a 3-day ship, usually shipped the same day. Maybe a little longer now with this storm, because I already got a message from UPS that they're going to be delayed. But the app that you get, you just go to, when you receive the unit, it gives you the location to go to download the app, which is the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on if you're an iOS or you're a Android person.
Actually, Bob, they can go there tonight and download the app.
Yeah.
Without having purchased the unit. You can go and download the app and look at it and see how it works and what it does. So there's no charge for downloading the app. And then it would activate it once you get your Bluestream sensor.
Hey, Bob, Lisa asked, so would it alert you to unwanted guests? Now, Lisa, I don't know whether you're talking about those little furry things, when I don't think we're going to get into that, or a person trying to break in. And Bob, I think we had said that for the motion detector that you can Velcro, the way to do it would be to Velcro it to your door. To your door.
Absolutely. It comes with Velcro. If you want a slightly more rigid connection, you can use something called Dual Lock, which is available at any hardware store. It's just like Velcro, but it's more gel type. It's a really solid. I've actually used Dual Lock to put them inside my acoustic guitars. So they're right inside the sound hole of the acoustic guitars. And right here, I don't know if you can see this. These are my 3 measurements for my guitars, actually.
Yeah. Now, I like to call it shock detection, because I don't want people to confuse the motion detection with the sound wave sensors that they have in the house, whereas if anything walks by it, it's not that. It's based on the sound and the shock. So if somebody were to break a window, if somebody were to crash into your door, if a tree was to fall and come through the roof of the unit. So it's detecting the shock to let you know that. So, and quite honestly, if somebody were parked in a Walmart parking lot, somebody came up and banged on the door trying to see if anybody was in there because they wanted to break into the unit, even if you weren't in there, you're going to get the alert and you call police.
You could have been in the store. You could have been in the store.
Yep.
And you got the alert, and then you come out. And you know
true.
what? I think it's important to say this now for legal purposes that, you know, if you come out and somebody's breaking into your unit, you're probably smarter to dial 911 than to try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't want anybody to say, "Oh, well, you know, I went in there and, you know, they beat the hell out of me." Use your head when it comes to that, et cetera. So that's pretty cool.
Okay,
See, Bob,
so
we had good questions come up here.
I thought we would. I thought that this topic, and you know, I don't want you to think that John and I are brain surgeons. We decide on Monday who we're going to have, and we make a couple of phone calls, and we get a guest, and we certainly have a lot of guests to choose from. But we know these guys. It's a great company. They're local guys, and you didn't even mention your alma mater, Bob, did you? Or did I miss it?
No, I didn't. I'm a graduate of Worcester Polytechnic Institute right here in the center of the state. And my dad went to Worcester Tech as an engineer. My son just graduated a few years ago. And a lot of our engineers that have done all the programming, the sensor as well as the all the software are all WPI grads. And WPI is an investor in our company. They put money in to help us get started through something called their Technology Advisory Network, TAN.
Wow.
So the WPI TAN group, they've been just phenomenal. So we're hats off to WPI. We love them.
Okay, Bob, we're running over, which is typical when we have guests. You've been a tremendous guest. I'm going to put the Bluestream website up there, but any closing comments that you might have for the folks who joined us tonight? And quite honestly, the 1,000 that 2,000 or 3,000 we usually get after the fact that might want to see or learn more, tell them where to find you, telephone numbers, whatever.
Sure. I think the only thing that I would add that I didn't have here that I didn't really touch on is one of the things we're focusing on. And as software apps evolve and so forth, we're helping connect you with what you love, whether it be a guitar, an RV, cigar smoking, etc. And as part of that, we're adding things in the app to help you enjoy your passion and not have to worry about it as much, and hence the protection. But we're also, for example, with Taylor Guitars, it's one of our partners. You can see on our website, if you click on partners, you'll see comments from different companies we work with. And so we're connecting Taylor Guitars, which is a manufacturer, directly with their end consumer, the guitar player. Whereas normally, you know, you go through a middleman like a Guitar Center or something like that.
We just had a very nice gesture from Walter Swenson. And Bob, I'm going to let you read that one because it's an opportunity for you.
Oh, okay. Great.
Can you read it?
Yeah. We can have some literature to put in the welcome bags at the Mass GS Rally, which when is that?
The Mass Good Sam Rally is May. I don't have it in front of me. It's
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
we'd love to do that. Thank you, Walter.
In Greenfield, Mass. In fact, Bob, it might even be worthwhile if any of your reps might be there to demo. I'm sure that the Good Sam people are always interested in new products. And again, I'll tell you, the Good Sam people, they tend to be a little bit of an older demographic. And I would say 80% of them are travel with pets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
80%.
Joe and Rhonda are the Mass State Directors, and they work very closely with Jason and Lisa Cole.
Speaking of pets.
Huh? Speaking of pets. I think mine must be getting hungry. They're barking out there. But, yeah.
It was right on cue, by the way.
Rhode Island, yeah. Yeah, they they know when the show's over. They're probably saying, "Hey, Dad, come on out and feed us here."
Yeah.
But we have good Sam rallies all summer. So Walter, thank you for that. And I think Walter is taking over from Joe and Rhonda this year. I think Walter's the incoming, state director. But you can correct me on that some other time. So again, I will put the link on where to buy up on the comments section. You have until midnight tomorrow night, and anybody who does buy it between now and midnight tomorrow night, we will select the name and give them the RV book, and we'll talk about that next week. Bob, any closing statements on behalf of Blue Stream or to our audience tonight?
Just we're so happy to be involved with you, Bob and John. You guys have been fantastic introducing us to the market, and we want to help RVers. We want to help them. So we're always open for comments, suggestions, how we might make the app or the experience better. So our door is wide open. We have an info@bluestream.com, which goes right to me. So you're the founder.
Let me jump in with your buddy Rick there. A good comment. He says, the app is easy to set up as well. Not a particularly technical guy, and I got it running in minutes. And that's true of the people who have been exposed to this in the RV industry.
I'm less than technically.
Right. But the customer support is not in India. It's not in China. It's in Worcester, Mass. And you'll get human beings to talk to you. Claude is fantastic, and they walk you through the process, and nobody's ever been disappointed. So we didn't talk about customer service, but I think we all know, especially in the RV industry, how important customer service should be.
Yeah, interesting, Bob. Just not a diversion here. This is the app. I just swiped left on the app. It says contact support. So right from within the app, you tap contact support. I'm chatting now with Claude Hatfield or one of our other reps. So I can ask him a question.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, let me bring up one more.
Guys are engineers. That's what engineers do in their spare time.
Yeah.
Let me go back to one more thing here. And this is very important as well, because this is not permanently affixed to your motorhome, so that if you have it there, you can't take it anywhere else. If you've got a motorhome in a boat, you can take it with you. Or if you just want to take it in your car for whatever reason, it's 100% portable.
Right.
And it doesn't require any plug-ins or anything like that.
That's true. All right, well, we're coming back, so we're doing it again. We're running close to 45 minutes, so maybe we're going to change the time permanently to 45 minutes or an hour. John, you want to close it out?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. I want to tell you that just look for the link there. There's a certain Amazon link that we are providing for you, and it's a great product. I've used mine, and if I can use it and set it up, then I think anybody can use it and set up. The beautiful part is that these are local people that put these together, and we just want to thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you again next week.
All right. Bob Bean, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night now.
Good night.